chase leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah. No, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. We'll go. Along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. We'll go. We'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Welcome everyone to another episode of the Crypto Roundtable. I'm going to go ahead and introduce this week's guest right off the rip. So joining us today, we have Crypto Atlas.
Konnichiwa. Hello, everyone. Nice to have you.
Next up, we've got Crypto Moonboy.
Yo, what's up, guys? Every time I see that intro with the gold logo kind of going back and forth, I think at the end of it, I'm going to hear Dark Moon Tim. It'll be perfect. If that was just at the end of that, it'll be incredible.
Speak of the devil. Let's bring him up. Dark Moon Tim.
What's going on, everyone?
Welcome. And today we have a special guest with us today. It's going to be Safemoon Smoke joining the roundtable today. How are you, sir?
I'm gonna applaud.
What's up? What's up?
Nice.
What an entrance. Awesome. Well, thank you guys all for joining us today. I'm pretty excited to talk about today's topics. We've got some kind of controversial points to talk about. We've got some exciting things to talk about. So I kind of wanted to pick your brain on a lot of the topics we'll be covering today. And for you guys that are in the audience, if you guys have any super chats that come through, I'll take care of those towards the end. So if you guys want your comments read, feel free to send those in. Of course, they're in no way obligated, but they are greatly appreciated when you guys send those forward. So to start us off today, we're going to get right into the meat of it. We're going to be talking about kind of what happened between Safemoon and Coffeezilla and the allegations that were thrown out by him and his team. There's a lot that's gone on. Some of us here on the panel have talked about that a little bit more openly. Some of us have not talked about it hardly at all. Kind of want to go around the table and get your opinions on the overall consensus as to kind of Coffeezilla's allegations. Do you guys feel like these carry any weight in any shape or form? Are they good or bad questions? Is it just FUD? What's kind of your state of mind with all of this and the allegations that were thrust forward? We'll kind of start off a little bit different than I think people anticipate. We're going to throw Tim under the bus here and make him go first, and then we'll go up and around the roundtable that way. So, Tim, your thoughts kind of on the entire arc of it. It's kind of, I'll let you kind of lead the narrative on that, how deep into it you want to get into, what your overall opinion is of it. Just the floor is yours.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. I was not expecting to go first. Thanks for that.
I figured you felt comfortable sitting last, so I figured I might as well disrupt that comfort.
I was just going to be like, I agree with these guys. So yeah, the whole Coffeezilla thing, I mean, most of the stuff that he brought up in his video was already in the past, right? So most of the FUD that he brought up is stuff that we have already heard. The community already knew about it. So it was just old stuff just being rehashed. And I feel, as someone who is supposed to do research for documentaries, if something like that is an issue, then it is good to bring it up, but it's already in the past and it's already been resolved for most of the part. So I really didn't feel like that was anything that needed to even be pushed towards the narrative anymore. So I felt like that was kind of like overboard when it came to like this super drama, because if he didn't have any of that stuff in his video, like the whole like what happened in the background with the team, because they're not there anymore, right? So like if this team was toxic and John removed them, they're not there anymore. So all these issues that he was bringing up, what was going on in the past, has been resolved because he got rid of the people that were actually hurting the company, right? So you would think that because of that happening, that he wouldn't bring that up because he would know that these people were taken out of the company. And of course, any questions that he would throw at them, they would be, obviously, they wouldn't be shedding positive light on Safemoon, right? And I think that was yet another thing he missed in his video. He's not talking about the stuff that Safemoon accomplished and Safemoon did, and some of the people that Safemoon has working for them. Like, some of these people are like pretty good with their resumes. I mean, you look at their resumes, they have a person that has 2 doctorates from Stanford. You have someone who did security for the Department of Defense. John worked for the Department of Defense for 6 years. He didn't cover about any of their backgrounds and the type of resumes that they carry. Because if you were a person who didn't know much about Safemoon and you were watching it, you're just like, oh, these are a bunch of kids that started this company, and you know they have no respect for anything besides trying to steal people's money. So that's the kind of take that it was. And then he brought up, you know, the LP wallet and all this other stuff, which I feel is a concern. It should be addressed at some point. But for all the other things that he brought up, I mean, that's really his only thing that he had for that whole thing, was just that one wallet address. I think that's the only question out of anything, because the people that he did interview for the video were all people that didn't like Safemoon anyway, right? So if you ask someone, you know, how's this person, if you ask someone's worst enemy how they were as a person, you're not going to get a real answer, right? So I think that was his play on the video, and that's why I really didn't think like it was a fair piece at all. And yeah, that's my take on it. I mean, I personally just think it was straight up a target piece right at Safemoon, but I don't know. I would like to hear your thoughts.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Tim. And Moonboy, I'll let you kind of lead up on that.
Man, I thought you were going to go to Smoke. Just skipping the right to me. So,
yeah, the whole point is I don't want you guys feeling too comfortable, right?
I was like, man, like, you know, Smoke's going to say something great, and I was going to agree to him. And, you know, Coffeezilla is a YouTuber. And when it comes to a YouTuber, he dropped a good video for his channel. The video is at, 1 million views. It got massive traction. And I kind of look at it a little differently, right? So for people who are not like us, who are plugged into the Safemoon community, who understand what's happened in the past, someone's going to watch a video and not really know if he didn't cover the history. So I can understand why he needed to go back in the past and bring all that stuff up. But to Tim's point, there is nothing positive. I do believe giving the good with the bad. And Safemoon is not all bad. There is bad. We had bad characters. And I know there's questions about if that's John's wallet, not the Gabe wallet. And what is he doing with the Bitmart funds? There's questions there, obviously. But when you compare V1 and V2, you need to separate them both and consider them their very own tokens, right? I know as a company, it's still under Safemoon. It's a brand of Safemoon, so they both are coinciding together in a sense. But when you talk about Safemoon V2, we have our LP that's insured. John has done his best to remove anyone who he thinks is either malicious or doesn't have good intentions to be a part of Safemoon in the future. And although he could work on the transparency when it comes to at least letting people know where you're at, I mean, I don't think people care about dates. I don't care about a date. We all know what Safemoon is. We all know what Safemoon's trying to do. But just to let us know, okay, well, we're 50% completion of the exchange. We're 50% here. We're still working on this. We need a couple things. So it's not that people are, wanting these hard set dates so we can say, okay, this is definitive when the exchange and all the things are going to be coming. But it'll be good to kind of get a little idea in regards to at least a period of time. For example, Q3, Q4. But yeah, I did think Coffeezilla did what he wanted to do, which was have a very engaging video, which when it comes to people outside of Safemoon, that video is going to be like, wow, well, look at Safemoon over there. And it's going to be so engaging. They're going to be looking it up and they're going to obviously believe whatever he says, which is bad overall when it comes to, okay, how are we going to get Safemoon in the mainstream? How is Safemoon going to push and be taken seriously by, let's say, Bitcoin investors, Ethereum investors, Cardano investors? Because now the only narrative they have is this video that hit 1 million views. And obviously Coffeezilla, he actually does have a pretty good track record of fact checking. He's done quite a bit of investigation and he does interview people who are the scammers, and some of them do come on his channel, some of them don't. He does find little voice notes that came up that wasn't supposed to get exposed from other scams, and he does release those. So he usually does a pretty good job. So I feel like when it comes to trust, he is trusted in the sense of when Coffeezilla makes a video about something, it is usually either scam, alleged scam, a Ponzi, they stole funds, something along the sorts. He's not known for really bringing any positive light to any project. He's trying to hunt down scammers. So the fact that he is the person that made this video, it really does not help the reputation of Safemoon when the reputation was already that it was a scam, a Ponzi, a rug. You guys are gonna lose your money. Look at the name. What are you doing? It just doesn't help anything at all. So right or wrong, the video was damaging and is going to hold Safemoon back when it comes to onboarding new investors. What's happening right now? Well, the current investors are just buying the dip, buying the dip, buying the dip, buying the dip. We might see 1 or 2 new holders or a couple holders who are still migrating over from V1 to V2. But essentially, it is going to be very hard to put that video aside to get in front of a new investor and say, this was the FUD portion of it, and this is inaccurate, and this is what happened over here. They're not really going to listen to anyone from the Safemoon community. So for me, I'm concerned about the reputational side of what that has done to Safemoon. And is Safemoon going to do anything about it? I don't think so. I mean, they've had time. I'm sure they've seen the video. I'm sure they've heard the comments. I'm sure quite a few people have brought the situation to them in regards to this video is out. A lot of fuzz going on. We know John doesn't address anything. He doesn't say anything, which, you can look at it as a good thing. If he has nothing to say, then why say anything at all? But at the same time, if you have nothing to hide, then also why say nothing at all? I made a video right before he dropped his video because I saw him tweeting about he's going to drop some kind of piece of content on Safemoon. And I thought it would have been a really cool opportunity for John to actually take his call and take that interview with him. Because if John really doesn't have anything to hide, and I think we all truly believe that John is clean, if there's nothing for John to hide, he could have went on the Coffeezilla channel. That video got 1 million views. He could have been part of that video, but he could have been the person saying, okay, we know that these players were involved in the past. That is why they're no longer here. We know these things happen and we want to move past them. We want to make sure we are better. This is what we are currently doing. And we're very excited for the future. We're very excited for our products. We're very excited for our license. We're excited that we now have an insured LP. It really could have been taken in a different perspective if John was involved. Like I said, that's my opinion. I think he should have probably said something. Not that Coffeezilla is some deserving person. It's just when you look at the platform he has and when you look at the amount of traction that video has gotten, if there was positivity in the video, which either could have been him or it could have been Fudhound or someone that was willing to take that interview with him, then it might have been the positive portion of that video that would have been, it wouldn't have been a bad hit to Safemoon reputation overall. So it's my opinion.
Thank you on that. What we'll go ahead and do is we'll give everyone a chance to answer, and then we'll kind of leave it open to just open conversation about it. So it's not just these monologues, but I feel like it gives everyone an opportunity to kind of state where they stand, so everyone understands where we're kind of headspace is in this, and then we'll kind of get into a little bit more open conversation if we want to. So I'll go over and turn it over to Schmoke for now. If you want to go ahead and just give kind of your feel on this, and then we'll, of course, like I said, once we get through everybody, we'll kind of get through more of a natural conversation more about it and stuff that way. So kind of your thoughts on this, and yeah, just tell it how it is.
Yeah, well, definitely concerning, right? Whenever there's FUD, it seems like, we get out of one FUD and go right to the next, you know what I mean? Never stops with this project. But from its inception, man, like, Safemoon from its inception has been fighting an uphill battle. It's been absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand, why, right? It makes me question why. Like what, and then when this video came out, Coffee's got some, he made me raise some questions as well, right? About this wallet, which is extremely interesting. I would love to know what the deal is with this Gabe wallet, right? Everybody does. I'm still a believer in Safemoon. I truly believe that, they're going to come through with what they say they're going to do. If they wouldn't, why would they go through all this trouble, right? Why would they the billboards and ensuring the LP and just all the people they're putting on? It seems really weird, for it to be a scam, for them to put so much effort into making this project work. I mean, maybe they made some mistakes along the way, right? And maybe this video exposed some of that. But is it the whole story? I don't believe it is. You know what I mean? When you come out with a story and then you have errors in your 1 year, supposedly was 1 year, right, of research you did, and then you go from having 100 million stolen to 6 million or whatever the number is, if it was even stolen or whatever. I just look at it like there was inconsistencies in the story, and I don't buy it, man. I think it was a flop. I truly believe in John Caroni and what the team is going to do moving forward. I feel like the video was damaging for sure, but I don't think it's going to stop Safemoon. Honestly, I truly believe that sometime this year, it's something these products are going to move forward. We're going to see something great this year. I truly believe that, man. Coffeezilla's video, nah. That's my opinion, man.
Love the sound effect, Schmoke. It really adds adds a little flavor to the table.
That's what I do, man.
Atlas, your thoughts?
All right. So first off, I got both sides I'm going to be talking about with this. At the end of the day, I want to make it clear to everyone, I'm still pro Safemoon. I still believe that there's lots of opportunity that's right around the corner. As I've had many conversations, especially recently, you go down the list of all these big things that they could deliver on. In total, it's about 11 or 12 things. Just some examples: the blockchain, the exchange, the hard wallet, the card, things of that kind of magnitude. And every day that draws by means that we're one day closer to potentially seeing those things come through. And what the company really needs at this point to establish stronger credibility is delivery. It's not the hype. It's not the theories. It's not the little speculations and things like that they throw out that we kind of feed off of as content creators to try and piece things together. Just give us an actual product or service or something tangible that we can work with that proves that you guys have the capabilities to deliver. Have they delivered in the past? Yes. Did it go smoothly? No. Are they a newer company? Yes. Is it growing pains? Yes. You got a checklist of all these things. Is it something that we should sort of give them the benefit of the doubt on? Well, that's up to you, right? Whether or not you want to keep your money invested into it, that's your decision. At the end of the day, I'm still in it. Sucks that so many other people are pulling out. And as far as, Schmoke, I want to kind of touch on what you mentioned there. Going through all this effort, yes, it definitely leads to be more inclined to believe, I should say, that they're a legitimate company, that they're trying to do tangible things. And I think this was reassured a little bit more from previous employees that left. Ryan, who said that, when I left, they were working on Safemoon Connect. That's still going on. I'm excited for you guys to see that. So he had that experience. He's no longer with them. It's not exactly the best of relationships, publicly from what we've seen between them. But he said that they're still working on things. That's a sense of reassurance. Okay, we're looking forward to something. Then you also got Thomas. You've also got, I think even Hank had said at one point that when we were there, things were being worked on. how soon we'll get these deliveries, how good they will be of a delivery. Like, this is all just a waiting game, and it's very frustrating. Yes, at the end of the day, all we have to do is really hold. But with all that being said, is it possible that all of this is just for show? It is historically possible, and we can look at an example, for example, Theranos, which they just had the not Netflix series, the Hulu series, The Dropout, which documents a lot of what happened with Elizabeth Holmes and with Theranos. And you got like this multi-billion-dollar company that was all a lie. Everything about it was a lie. We're talking huge money here, right? So is it possible? Yes, it is possible. But we take multiple factors, we look at them, we evaluate them, and that should be able to paint a better picture. So based on what we have readily available to us in the public, this is making me personally more inclined to believe that there is still potential here. There's still something on the table. It's just frustrating every day as a bag holder, waking up, seeing the markets go down more people sold, no news, no delivery, and all that kind of stuff. That is FUD. It's fear, it's uncertainty, it's doubt, and these go through cycles, right? So those who hold are the ones that are typically the ones that reap the benefits, right? If people bag sell and they took a loss, then they're kind of following the majority in these positions. I'm not saying that Safemoon for sure is going to go up. Now let's go ahead and go back because I kind of had a lot there that was built off of what you had said, Schmoke. But just to touch on this a little bit with Coffeezilla, he has a YouTube channel. His primary focus is about targeting projects that are looking like scams or are scams. Now, if he can identify without a doubt that these things are scams and he fully exposes them, I'm all for that. I get the intention there. You can protect things, but you better make sure that if you open your mouth and you say these things, that you are correct, because he is now at a level that is far bigger than he was a year or 2 years ago. When he opens his mouth, more people listen. More people have weighted value in what he says. That has a big impact. Now, there's a hypocritical side that's here that's in play that I do want to point out. Although the intentions may appear to be good, when you make remarks such as Coffeezilla has, as far as us as influencers, if we make videos and we're just sharing news information, for example, on projects, and it looks like we're fully promoting these things and essentially comes off as we're trying to tell people you should go buy this. When we say the whole disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, this is not financial advice, go do your own research, that kind of a thing. He's tried making it a point in one of his videos where like, that doesn't really look like it's going to hold up very well. And it was this sort of cocky attitude like, yeah, these people, they're going to have what's coming to them. But excuse me, I do believe that Coffeezilla is himself an influencer. He's made multiple videos. We can go back in time just like he's done on different things and see how when one action takes place, how does that correlate with the market, correct? So same thing. He makes a video. I mean, we've all seen it. I don't think there's any question with anyone here watching the stream or on the panel. The price of Safemoon took a dramatic hit numerous times. And of all the projects that are out there, when you're a YouTuber and you make videos on this kind of topic and the market is all really silent and you need to come up with content, what do you go to? You go to the things that have the most search traffic going on. What are people still talking about? What is still relevant right now? Oh, it's Safemoon. How many videos has he talked about other projects in this amount of videos compared to Safemoon? I understand like he might be finding some new things, but as we found out recently, after the last year of trying to accumulate those things, he blew up wrong some very big important things, like almost $100 million of a discrepancy. That's not like a little mistake. That's a huge mistake. And so, it's all about drama. Drama pulls in clicks. Controversy pulls in clicks. These are aspects as YouTubers, the more that you get involved in the space, you really start to understand those aspects. So yes, although you have good intentions that you're trying to protect people, when you do allegations with no confirmation and you present it in a package deal where it is very biased, not unbiased, you're not providing additional facts of what has been delivered, the good progressive moves that the company has done, right? When you look at all those aspects, that's something that should be stressed quite a bit. If you exclude those things, then you're very biased. You're driving a specific narrative. I think that's where a lot of people really have issues with him. Raising questions has me and other people here about the Gabe wallet. Yes, I would love to know more information about that as well. But when you have a voice as big as Coffeezilla's and everything is based on allegations and it affects the price to go down, I mean, we're talking about him trying to protect people from losing money. I am down a lot more from actions that he keeps doing based off of allegations rather than straight up facts. And that is something that pisses me off, just in the same sense if it was a rug pull. So it doesn't make what he's doing okay. He could change what he does, approach it a little bit differently, have a lot more respect from a lot more people. But frankly, I don't think he's going to do that because he has a specific design system. He has a specific design way that he looks at things. And inviting people to come up, influencers and things, why? We're influencers. I don't work at Safemoon.
Right.
How can I 100% give you an answer on these things? Why should you assume for sure that John is going to be answering these things of all the points in time that he could step forward and answer this when they have a lawsuit that they're going through? When anything that he opens up his mouth on, especially if it's on the fly, it's a live space, it's with an individual that clearly has a vendetta against Safemoon, he raises a question and John, his response, that's going to be used against him. It's going to be used against Safemoon in the future. So realistically, what I would like to see is Safemoon's PR team address these issues in the most appropriate fashion possible, because it is concerning for many people. I really think that answering that question should not be hard, and just do it in the proper channels. Have your people that's what their job is for, to go in and step up and do those things. John doesn't have to be the spokesperson for everything. He has to be a CEO because that's his job. But there are other people that have these roles. Let them do their work because we need this addressed. It's PR, public relations. This is a public issue that's affecting many people. And until it gets answered, there will continue to be doubts. So I know that's an extremely long, drawn-out answer. I'm sorry, but those are my thoughts on that.
No, I think.
Sorry, I just want to add one really quick point on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Usually when it comes to right and wrong, it's very difficult for a minority of people to be louder than obviously the majority, and the majority is the crypto space, and the minority is the Safemoon community. And what I kind of gathered out of that video, and kind of what Smoke said as well, since the inception of Safemoon, there's always been FUD, all the time. The amount of videos from a plethora of different types of people, articles and tweets and all kind of stuff, just constantly all the time with the same message. This is a scam, this is a rug, this is all these things, right? But we are on this side saying, no, you don't know what you're talking about, X, Y, and Z. Usually, and I'm not trying to make Safemoon sound bad, I'm not trying to say that it is or isn't, but when the majority of people are saying one thing, and when the minority say another thing, the majority is usually seeing something that the minority is not seeing, right? So I've kind of been asking myself, why are people continuously, like all of the time, calling it these things? Is there something I'm not seeing? Am I just blind to the idea of $1 billion in volume on a daily basis? Am I blind to the idea of a 1 cent Safemoon? Am I blind to all these things that are maybe keeping me from seeing something I'm not seeing? Is that possible? I mean, anything is possible. We don't know, right? But just a question overall for people. When the majority is saying something louder than the minority, maybe there's more to look into, and there is more to look into. We just don't have all the pieces together. So we're kind of left, doing this, talking to each other. We don't really have any facts to really go off of and elaborate off based off of just, we just have our perspective, right? So it's very hard, right? To always try to be louder than the majority of people. It's like you have 1 million people out there all saying the same thing. We have 10,000 people over here having a completely different perspective. But is this 10,000 people just that much plugged in? We're really not that plugged in when it comes to the insides of Safemoon. We know as much as anyone else who just does a little bit of research. So it's just a question I've kind of had lately.
Thank you for that, Moon Boy. I just want to get my piece, and then we'll kind of open it up to dialogue if we want to talk a little bit further. As far as my viewpoint on this, I have done a couple of videos on this, so people may already kind of understand where I stand. I actually talked live with Coffee during his Safemoon debates for a minute. I wasn't trying to debate with him. I have a lot of people asking why I let him do a narrative switch. It's because I wasn't trying to debate anything with him. I was just trying to have a conversation because he invited me to come up. So I went up and talked to him. Just one thing to point out, I don't mean to put you on the spot, Moon Boy, but what you were talking about before with the majority versus minority thing, that's what's called a appeal to majority fallacy. And it's actually a fallacious way of reasoning things. So there's not necessarily authority in the idea that because there's a majority of people that think one way, that necessarily makes that thing right. Right. There was at one point, not to make this political, but there was at one point in this country that slavery was considered a positive or an okay thing morally by a majority of the country. You know, that doesn't mean that it was okay. Right. So just because there's a majority of people who think a certain way doesn't inherently mean that that reasoning is solid or that it has backing simply because there's a majority of people who view things in that certain light. When it comes to the whole Coffeezilla Safemoon thing, people may get upset with me, but I feel like as a content creator, I need to be honest with my viewers. I like to, there's kind of two approaches to cryptocurrency, in my opinion. Well, three. The first approach is coming to it as an investor, which means my end goal at the end of the day, no matter what my emotions are, my feelings are, I'm there to make money. I want to come out with more money than I put in as an investor. That's the end goal. There's another second option of people. There's the crypto enthusiast, the people who are here because they love and enjoy the idea and the technology of cryptocurrency. So they're not inherently there because they're there to turn a profit. They're there as kind of more like revolutionists. They want to make change in the world, and they believe that crypto is the way to do that. So they're the people who aren't necessarily holding for a profit, but they're, hey, I'm going to hold this coin and I'm going to be loud about it. I'm going to go and I'm going to pay with Bitcoin when I can. I'm going to kind of like almost like a religious sense to it, right? Because they want crypto to have mass wide adoption because they believe in the technology and the problems that will solve, like in the fiat system and those kind of things. And then I think third, you've got kind of your meme coiner people, right? The people who just, they thought it was funny that, you know, Dogecoin's funny. They threw a couple of money at it. They're not necessarily supporting anything. They're not there to make money. It's just a joke, right? They're just throwing money at it for that to be part of a cultural thing. And I think that there's a lot of people that are hybrids of maybe one of all of these things. And so they have a hard time sometimes because sometimes they're appealing to that first position where they're there to make money, but then they'll make decisions or act in a certain way that puts them in the third or the second category. And so I think the thing that people first need to ask themselves is, am I here as an investor? Am I here as a kind of enthusiast, or am I here for the lulz? Am I here for the memes, right? And I personally fall in the first two categories. I believe in crypto and I believe what it can do, but primarily I'm in the first category. I want to make money primarily. And then the second option is more of a secondary thing for me right now. While there's money to be made, I want to be making that money. So on that premise, I like to look at things from that position. So I have no loyalty to one particular project for no reason other than I believe that it's going to make me profitable, and by me talking about it with the people who invest in me and my time, that they're aware of my position, and then they can go out and make their own decisions. I don't want people to say Gen Crypto or Atlas or Moonboy said this, so I'm going to do what they say. I want you to say, hey, you presented to me information I was unaware of so that I can go out and do my own research and make my own decisions. So with that long preface, when it comes to this position of Coffeezilla, Safemoon, the stuff he brought up, I don't blame Coffeezilla for anything he's done. I personally don't think he did anything inherently wrong. I don't think he had bad intentions. I think this is a YouTuber who has built a following going after what he feels is fraudulent stuff going on in crypto projects, in businesses, or whatever, and he tries to expose them. So when he does a video like that, this isn't a fair assessment of a company. This is an argumentative essay in video form. He's coming through with an argument saying, this is what I believe, and here is my representation of the facts to push the beliefs that I presently hold on the specific cryptocurrency project or whatever. So of course, it's going to come with a certain lighting to it. It's going to come with a bias. It's going to come with a story on that mindset. However, does that inherently mean that because there's bias or because there's a certain narrative that's being drawn, that there's not rational or good conclusions or questions being asked? And the answer is no. He brought up a lot of good questions, and I think he kind of unveiled a lot of things for a lot of holders that they were probably either completely unaware of or did not have the entire picture or understanding of what was going on, even if minor details or major details may have been a little bit off here or there. Now, I personally don't think Coffeezilla or Safemoon has presented to me a convincing case in either direction. There's holes in Coffeezilla's reasoning because he uses fallacious reasoning to go from point A to point B, right? If Thomas is someone that we can't trust, then you can't trust him. You can't say he's being truthful here and then he's not being truthful there. If it's an unreliable source, the source is unreliable. And so, you know what I'm saying? You can't have your cake and eat it too. It's either an unreliable source or it's a reliable source. There's no middle ground on that way of reasoning. Of course, you could take what they say, and what they say could still hold merit, because saying that the person is bad simply because they talked about something called ad hominem, that's also fallacious reasoning. So you've got to kind of take things with a grain of salt. So just because person A said something or 10 people in group A said something doesn't mean that group their reasoning is right in section B. So I think that there's holes in that. There's no definitive like proof that this happened in this way. I think that it's very obvious that the early individuals in Safemoon were dirty. I don't think there's anyone that's really defending that. The question really comes down to is John and the current team still having issues, or has John been dirty in the past and whatever? I see that there is evidence towards that. I don't see proof, but I see things pointing to that direction that should be addressed. But on the flip side, on the Safemoon side, there is good questions being asked. So I can't sit here and say I think Safemoon is completely clean and all these projects are going to come out and everything's going to be sunshine and rainbows. We've had massive delays, going on months. It feels like we get a lot of announcements for new things or things to come, but those things just never deliver. Like, I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm like, oh, the swap and evolve is coming, and then it's delayed, or the exchange is supposed to be here, the blockchain, and then we get more delays. And that doesn't mean that it's not coming. It just means that it doesn't provide confidence as a holder to know that there's all these delays and there's not delivery. So I don't see a solid case in either direction for me right now. I see good questions being asked by Coffee and team, but I don't think that they've come to a solid conclusion. I think they just asked good questions, and those questions should definitely be addressed. But to me, it doesn't draw a definitive conclusion. And on the Safemoon side, they've done a lot of good things. They brought on cool people. They brought on good people for marketing, and these people with really great resumes to come on the team. They do have a physical headquarters. They do have things that kind of show hints towards things being legitimate. And I have faith and I hope that that's the case. But as an investor, I can't just live off of hopium, right? I've got to know what are the facts and what is going to make me the most money. What's going to make my position better? And so I don't see a solid case on either side. So I would hope to see someone like John or the PR team could come forward and answer a lot of these hard questions, because the longer they go unanswered, to me, the worse it looks for them on a public display. Like we talked about before, I think the holders that are there, they're going to be there. What you need to convince is the new holders that will come in and be a part of the ecosystem. And outside of that, the partnerships that would come. Imagine your first impression is seeing that, a Coffeezilla's video, and having that understanding. Now you're another crypto developer or you're a company, and you get a call from the Safemoon team, whether it's the marketing team or the PR team or whatever, and they say, hey, we'd like to do a deal with you. You'd be like, get lost. I just heard you guys were this giant scam. I don't want to have anything to do with you. If that's the public perception, it looks terrible, and it's going to kill anything that you're going to try to work on towards the future. So it does need to be addressed and answered, and their PR team needs to get in front of that. And the longer it goes unanswered, I think is worse. I get some of the things may have been brought up in the past, but there's new people and new eyes that need answers on that. So I think it's good that they address those things. So I kind of sit in that middle ground where I'm on kind of the middle. And I know that sounds like a cop-out answer, but it's because as an investor, I can't say definitively either direction. I think both used fallacious reasonings to get to the convictions on both sides. And I feel like there needs more information to be provided in order to come to a logical conclusion on the matter, in order to make a decision either direction to me. Of course, I know that some of you guys probably really disagree with my stance on that, but we'll kind of leave the floor open. Anyone can talk, and if you want to talk about what I said or throw your piece in or whatever, just leave the floor open.
Yeah, I'd like to touch on that real quick. I kind of feel like Safemoon has created this monster of information. They've been so open with the community about everything that they're doing to their detriment, right? And I kind of feel like, as a tech company, right? They're claiming to be a tech company. When we move into that space of saying that we're doing, we're innovating and we're doing, we're going to be a tech company as well as a cryptocurrency, we need to stop. This is how I feel. You guys may disagree with me. A lot of Safemoon holders may disagree with me. I kind of feel like you need to move away from the cryptic messaging if you're talking about becoming a tech company, right? When you start giving out, these cryptic tweets and everybody's excited about something coming up, and you see everybody in the community is like excited for something to happen, and then nothing happens. It kind of like, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, you have FUD that you have to fight at the same time. It kind of takes, your motivation away, right? But if you know what, if you're a diehard Safemoon holder like I am, then you kind of you kind of have faith, right? You have faith that everything's going to happen, but at the same time, I kind of wish that the information that is given to the Safemoon community, I kind of feel like they said, no more dates, no more, and that they haven't been doing that. But even with the cryptic messaging, like something out there, and now everybody's running around with like their chicken, like a chicken with their head cut off, trying to figure out what this message means. And it's cool and was fun in the beginning, but after a while, it kind of like sucks. It's like, wait a minute, we're doing all of this, right? And then when you know, when it comes down to it, does something get revealed? Most of the time, everybody's like, well, you know, you got to kind of defend what didn't happen. You understand what I'm saying? And it sucks. It really does suck. And I wish John Caroni and this new PR team that I haven't heard from, I hope they would take, you know, that information and say, man, let's try to move away from all of that and start moving towards, you know, giving solid information and move away from this cryptic messaging, man. That completely turns me off. And, you know, I've been sick of it for a while, but yeah, that's how I feel about. And what do you guys feel about after this Coffeezilla documentary? Because that's exactly what it was, a 2-part documentary. Shouldn't Safemoon be? Shouldn't they sue them for defamation?
I mean,
you know what I mean?
He kind of covered himself by putting the disclaimer in his description that he basically was, anything he said shouldn't be taken as fact. You know, I mean, I think one of the things that Generation Crypto brought up is like, he does at some point have good points, but I think he went about it the way wrong way. Like, as a filmmaker, and you know that there's people that could get hurt if you're not right, then why would you just completely slant it one side, knowing that you could be possibly hurting hundreds of thousands of people's financial futures just because you want to get more clicks on your video, right? Just because you want to vilify a company because but you should have looked at the whole picture. He just showed all the bad. And I know as an investor, people want to know what's going on, and Safemoon hasn't been the most outright with information, which is like what Smoke was saying. It kind of, after a while, you get kind of tired of the cryptic messages. You're like, what is going on? Are we going to get something? Or what does this mean? Or what does that mean? Or why is this happening? But Coffeezilla coming out the way he did, knew that he was going to get the views and knew that he was going to hurt people by doing that. And he could have taken a more level-headed approach and saying, hey, this could be something or it could not be something. These people were here. They're no longer here. But by doing the way he did it, the way he said it, and the way he presented it, he has legitimately hurt people, not just in their financial situation, but mentally, who believed in this company and dumped their bags. And now they're completely depressed. They lost hope in something that they hoped in. You know, there's people dropping out of the community, just losing their freaking minds over what is happening because of what this video has done to some people. And it's just, I don't feel personally as a filmmaker that if he wanted to call this, that you should always take in both sides. Like, are you going to be hurting someone with this or are you not? And yeah, I mean, obviously he was going after Safemoon, but you should have to still pull yourself back and realize that this is one of the largest communities in DeFi. So if you're going to come out with a target piece like this, you should at least try to make it level to the point where, okay, I see why I could see why the community is so big and why they have such a huge backing and who these people are behind the community. But here's some questions, you know, and I feel like he did not do that at all. He just went direct kill piece on this, and I was just like, that's not cool at all.
Do you mind if really quick, Atlas? Do you mind if I play devil's advocate of that just a little bit here? Just want to get your thoughts on this. Playing devil's advocate. As I genuinely believe, I think Coffee genuinely believes that he is 100% right. I don't think he thinks.
But that's the problem. Like, you can't believe
100%, 100%. Yeah. But I think that's his conviction, right? Based on the information on what he's seen, he's convinced that this is the situation. So let's just say devil's advocate. Let's just say John in the past, not now. Let's say everything that they're doing now is completely clean. But let's just say historically, back in the day, John did do some of these things. He did steal some money out of LP and he used it for personal gain when he said he didn't. I'm not saying that's true. We're playing devil's advocate here. Even if Safemoon does all these amazing things, does that mean that the stuff that he did in the past is not fraud or that it's not bad or that it shouldn't be addressed? Playing devil's advocate.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, like, look, if he did something wrong, those questions need to be asked, right? So I'm not saying that we should just sweep it under the rug, right? Let them look into it. Let them look into it, but don't legitimately come out and just straight up try to kill the project. I mean, that's all that video was meant to do, was to kill the project, because, and he went after it hard too, because if he successfully killed the project, right, and look at the amount of people, he knew that what he was getting into, he probably looked into it and saw how big the community was, and he's like, all right, I'm going after this one. And not only am I going to release one video to kill this company, I'm going to release multiple videos to kill this company. Then I'm going to try to get their influencers and people from their community on a live chat and just completely scream at them and humiliate them and get them upset and get their emotions going, because he knew that the video that he made would get people emotionally charged. And then he basically set up a trap. Yeah, come on, Discord, it'll be an Generation, you held it. He didn't want to talk to you. I heard him. I heard him talk to you because you were calm and collective and you gave straight answers. He wanted somebody that would act emotionally so he can get them fired up. And that's not right. You know what I mean? He knew that no one from the community could answer the questions. So what the hell was the purpose of it? He knew that no one can come out and explain what the wallet was about. The only person that could explain it would be the people that were inside of Safemoon, right? So none of us could. And he even told you that that's the only thing he could stand on, was just that LP thing. That was it. Everything else we started chipping away at, saying, no, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this was in the past. And he's like, yeah, whatever, but it's the LP. It's like, but you're destroying this entire community. You're hurting a lot of people's mentally. You're hurting their bags financially, and you're being a jerk about it. Like, that's not cool.
So fundamentally, I think we need to look at a variety of things. Drew, is it okay? Or did you want to add one more piece?
No, go for it. I did want to eventually touch back on two things. If it's okay, just I'll let you go. I think we talked about is the defamation thing. I think a lot of people in the community have talked about whether he was paid to do it or not. I want to talk about those down the road, but go ahead, Atlas.
So I think what we need to come to a realization here, guys, is this company is only a little over 1 year old. That is one thing. It's publicly known. It's a fact, right? Now, we also need to look at how this fits in line with history with other companies. I mean, think about how many companies have ever been made. They had people that had bad intentions that were associated with those companies, and the company is still thriving today. You're still buying their products. You're still using their services. That person isn't a part of the picture anymore. Where are we at today? Why are people still vocally still showing support for Safemoon today? Is it because of the 10% tokenomics? No, a lot of people don't even like that aspect. It has its value, it has its role, it plays a purpose. I understand the ecosystem behind it. It was interesting, but you know, after all of the failed deliveries on their projects and the delays that took place and people leaving the project and the amount of FUD, we've just had multiple layers of all this stuff. Why would people still be in a large group of people saying this too, still be speaking so positively about this project? Is it because of the stuff in the past, what they already have made, or is it about what looks like the potential in the future? The amount of potential that this company, especially pursuing it in a tech-based space, is so incredible that if they can pull it off, and they need help to pull this stuff off, they can't do it alone. That's the reality on this stuff, is it's very ambitious, but when you look at it from face value, you understand there's so much here that could help move all of the crypto space in general forward. For every other project, it's a model, it's a beacon of hope, it's a humanitarian set of aspects that could be applied. All of that is something that we are holding and grasping onto. And when you have members who, again, I said this earlier, but I'll say it again, if they leave and they had a bad relationship with John or whatever, but they say, hey, the stuff that when I was working there, yeah, they were actually working on things are still coming up, I'm still excited about some of these things, I still support Safemoon itself, right? You want to do whatever you want, trying to expose John, that's on you. But if you're a big influencer and you're trying to make the project look illegitimate, I would appreciate it if you acknowledge that there's a large majority of people that believe in the potential of where this project is going. It's not totally out of the realm of reason. It's not like this is imaginary stuff that they're going to be inventing a unicorn that can teleport you from here to Mars. They're not saying that kind of stuff. They're saying things that's in an emerging sector that we've done research on, me and Tim and Generation Crypto, all Moon Boy, we've done these kinds of research on these things. And when you look down this stuff, you're like, whoa, this is actually potential. And I could see how this could actually be put together. That's where we speculate on all this stuff. But those little clues that we talked about, there's another word for that. It's a teaser. Now, I don't know about you guys. I like to be teased a little bit. It can make things just more exciting after you've been teased, right? But you need to actually receive the thing after being teased. And the problem that we have here is we've had so many teasers that dangling of that prize right in front of you and getting pulled away. At a certain point, it's not fun anymore. You keep getting it put in. You're not even attempting to try and reach out at that point, right? You need to actually be able to receive it. And what sucks is that a lot of times when you do this kind of back and forth until you finally get it, you get it and you're not even excited anymore, right? You open up the present or whatever and you look at it and you're like, cool. It was kind of ruined because of the whole experience leading up to it, you know? So you have all those kinds of things to deal with. And the last thing I want to touch on is that if you're trying to attack John Crony himself personally, let's also acknowledge his background history. He used to work in the United States military, involved in the government. He's making it very clear he's trying to do everything through compliance and regulations. He could have just thrown an exchange up and then been just like Gate.io, which was a top 10 cryptocurrency exchange. And in the last 2 months, guess what? All of a sudden, regulators come in. They say you can't trade through Gate.io in the United States and a whole slew of other countries. Think about how that affects their market. Think about how that affects their reputation. Think about the reputation of what Safemoon is in right now because of everything we've had to deal with up to this point. Do you really want to deal with that too, just to say that we have an exchange that's up that's all of a sudden now going to encounter all these other things? What about the added layers of security, all this stuff? You want to have those things be at the caliber where they can compete legitimately with Binance, but you expect it to happen over 2 to 3 months of time after inception of launch. And on top of that, you got a whole bunch of team members that aren't even with the company anymore. So you have to restructure your staff and you have to go through everything through a pandemic. I mean, you really start to acknowledge all of these things. Like at some point, you got to give them a little bit of credit for what they have to deal with on their end personally. Like if you were in their shoes as an employee in that company and you had to look on the outside and see everyone complaining, all the influencers saying things, you have to deal with all that, but you're under NDAs. You have third-party relationships. You have things that have not been legally signed yet. You have competitors who have financial backing that as soon as you open your mouth, then you say these things, they could potentially get it out next week. So you got to wait till you're at that point where you're like, we can deliver on it. And if they want to copy us, we were the first ones out the door on it, right? All of this stuff is something you need to keep in mind. And with John, his family, the background with the CIA and stuff, could he have been involved in fraud? It is totally possible. It is a percentage chance. It's not a 100% thing. And I don't really like it when people are so fervent in their beliefs on things that they are 100% on those things. It's very few instances. The only thing I can think of is like, hey, you believe in God, you're 100% on that. Okay, I respect that, right? That's on its own independent thing. Now, when we're talking about everything else, could John have caused anything with fraud? Theoretically, yes. What's the saying? When you hear the sound of hooves, think of a horse, not a zebra. You go with the most common base thing. John, the Barajali group, his family relationship ties, everything that led up to this point, really, how much does it make sense when you say it out loud that he was intentionally pursuing being involved in fraud? It's very unlikely. Could he have done it? Yes, there's a chance. And you know what? I think this whole court case, depending on how things come up with it, that may give us our final answer on it. But until then, all these accusations and things, give me a break. You're going to try and present things. Make sure that you do it in an unbiased sense until you actually have the straight facts.
Well said. I kind of wanted to touch on two things just because before, I know we've been talking about this for almost an hour. I can't believe it's been an hour. We'll get on to the next subjects here. But the last two things I just wanted to briefly touch on. Shmoke, you kind of asked about, and I've seen, you're not the only one, I've seen lots of people ask about defamation. When it comes to the United States anyways, defamation is one of the hardest cases to actually win in the United States, let alone get into a courtroom. You have to have provable damages and then proof that what they said was also completely false and was done with malicious intent. So if someone says something bad about you, but it's true, you can't sue for defamation because it's like they said a truth. That it doesn't matter if it hurts your image or not. They didn't lie about you. So where defamation comes in is it has to be provably false, and it would have to be you have to prove that there was a financial damage directly tied to the statements that were made. So if I just say, Tim's a meanie head, that you can never sue me for that, even if everyone started to unsubscribe from Tim.
Head, so.
But even if everyone decided,
I was saying it like in a sense of like for instance, like Elon Musk, when he was tweeting about Dogecoin or whatever, SEC got on his ass, and because he's making a price pump of this token. So I figured, as soon as this Coffeezilla thing came out, the price pretty much dumped. So I figured you could pretty much take him to court for that, because it did have a direct impact on the price of Safemoon at the moment. So that's what I meant by that.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, in a case like that, that wouldn't be defamation. That would be market manipulation. And in order for it to be market manipulation, you would have to have a financially invested interest. So example would be, he talks bad, it dips, he buys the dip, talks positive, it goes up and sells, right? That would be market manipulation. It's for your own personal financial gain. But otherwise, like every major company ever would be going to jail because they would make a deal or not make a deal that would directly impact the price of a stock or a crypto. Everyone would be in jail for that, because prices get manipulated based upon the actions of companies and individuals, because ultimately at the end of the day, it's the actions of those individuals, the creations of those individuals that we're giving value towards, right? So that in that same case, it still wouldn't work. He would have had to have literally either had money invested in that. So he either bought in or shorted it or did something like that for direct financial gain from him making those statements. So if that was proven that he held a wallet and he shorted it right before that video came out, okay, now you actually have a case and you could get market manipulation lawsuits going. But
that would be chapter 2 of the documentary. I mean, my God, guys, whenever the documentary does come out, I mean, I feel like it's going to be a series. There's so much going on with Safemoon. My Lord.
Hopefully it's not like a sequel to the Dropout series. I don't want that kind of series with Safemoon.
Very true. And the last thing about being paid, I don't think he was paid, guys. He has an incentive. That's what his whole channel is about. He talks about projects, does these whole investigations on them, crypto or non-crypto related, does a whole story on it. It gets a lot of views. He literally gets paid for the views. So I don't think a lot of people talk about these fudders went and paid him a ton of money to do this story. I don't think so. Safemoon is big enough that people know about it, right? It's not hard to find. And they probably knew about it because it was big, especially when it first came out and it was hitting all-time highs. I mean, you couldn't have gone on any type of crypto Twitter and not heard about it to some degree. So he probably was aware of it, said, hey, still has following. This has a massive community. And let me look into it further. Oh, I feel this way. I just investigation. This looks like it fits my MO. I talked to a bunch of people. It continues to fit my MO. I build a case for it. I make a big old 40-minute video on it, and I release it. That's his MO with all the other cryptos that he's done and all the other projects. I don't think he was necessarily paid by anybody, or there's some sort of crazy conspiracy ulterior motive behind the scenes funding it. I just think he saw an opportunity. It was going to get him a lot of views, and he was convinced that what he was doing was correct, so he released the video about it. And I think sometimes, unfortunately, reality is a lot more boring and plain than we like to make it out to be. A lot of the times we like to make up these crazy stories of these people conspiring and all this stuff. In reality, life's just kind of happenstance and a little bit boring and plain sometimes, and that's just how it is. So
I say we put Dark Moon Night on this guy on Coffeezilla. Did you guys see that those videos?
Yes, I did.
My God, they're super entertaining. So cool.
Well, perfect. Does anyone else have any other comments on this before we move on to the next topic? I know this has kind of been an hour on the same topic, but anything else you guys want to bring up on it?
Just one really quick topic. Alice, you need to show me how to do that. You don't even have a green screen. How'd you do that? We gotta talk off.
No, that's really his house.
Because I'm a god. No, I'm kidding.
Really quick point. So this is not Coffee's first video. His first video on Safemoon was over a year ago. He probably made this same type of narrative when it comes to Safemoon way before the majority of us were even invested. So, like I said, I'm a really big fan of Coffee. I consume a lot of his videos, and I'm a fan of just how he does things. And I generally like his content overall. So this is not his first Safemoon video. This is in his third, fourth, fifth. He's made quite a bit of Safemoon videos from the very inception, before there was even an announcement of a wallet, an exchange. He covered it from the first month all the way up to now. I feel like this last video was just a culmination of everything, right? A one-stop shop video where you can get all the negative portions of Safemoon. So, just to Generation Crypto's point, I don't think he was paid. He's been doing these videos about Safemoon for over a year. verifiable on his channel. And although it was all negative, it was not all wrong. You know, a lot of these things he talked about did happen. And I did want to address one thing that Generation actually asked. If it did come out that he was involved in fraudulent activity when it comes to taking the LP or taking that additional funds from Bitmart and using it for personal reasons, now that Safemoon is good, am I still going to support it knowing he did that in the past? Of course not. Well, why would I do that? We have a CEO over here there's verifiable proof, if we can actually verify that he did these things. What stops him from doing it in the future? You know, there's projects that I've been involved in who were veterans, docs in KYC and the Project Rug. You know, these cool things to where it looks good, it sounds good, everything is working, is not enough for confidence, right? Especially since you have a video like this that's out. So yeah, I mean, you know, obviously back to Atlas as well. I mean, there needs to be some type of representation from the PR team to represent Safemoon. If the FUD hound was still here, this would have been addressed. He does not shy away from anything. He will tackle all of it. He does not care. Because if he's addressing concerns that's literally being said, I feel like there's a way to tackle that, but not break any NDAs or go beyond things you shouldn't be saying, right? There's a way to do things to where you can give those answers, give the confidence and give the clarity, but not specifically talk about internal information that might damage the company or be involved in a lawsuit that you'll be held accountable for. So the FUD hound for sure would have definitely addressed that. And if he was here, then this whole situation would have been handled differently. Although if you feel like he's obviously not a good part of Safemoon, I don't care what your opinion is. I just thought he did a very good job addressing FUD, right? We just don't have that person anymore that is on the team to address these things. It was Ryan. He's not there. Now it's up to the community to address things, but we know as much as anyone else. So it's just kind of like we're just back and forth speculating certain things. But yeah, that's it.
It'd be nice if somebody took the mantle, right? Like, you know, he wasn't even on the team when he was the FUD hound, and he was doing a great job, man.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, they definitely need someone on the team to be that freight face, like you said, that PR face, to be directly involved in knowing what's going on and being able to address those things from a position of understanding, right? Because like you said, a lot of the people that try to go do these debates or have tried to defend online, it's still speculative. They're just saying, well, this is the same. I have access to the same resources or even less resources, and this is just my conclusions. At the end of the day, it's just opinions at that point because you're just speculating, right? Whereas if you had a team member, they're like, no, I directly know because I'm here, I'm part of the team. This is what's actually going on. Like you said, having that PR is a big deal, and they probably should. They may already have that position filled, but whoever that person is needs to be a louder voice and more in the kind of the face to address those things. So we
are generation.
Yeah.
Do you think there'd be any issue if they hired Robert Downey Jr. and they give him like an Iron Man suit, but instead of it being the Iron Man suit, it's just stylized with, you know, the green and stuff of the Safemoon logo, and in the center it's the Safemoon logo, and he comes out and he's like, "Oh, I'm talking about Safemoon." It's like, "Oh, it's Tony Stark." No, it's not Tony Stark. It's Baboni Hark, or, you know, something like that. Do you think there'd be any legal issues with that? Marvel be mad, or
Disney might sue?
But
okay. Does Disney own that too?
There goes my idea.
Yeah, Disney owns Marvel. And
what the hell don't they own anymore?
I know everything these days, right?
No, like I said, Safemoon's got a Batman now, so hey, never know.
So
hey, I did it. Check me out.
Hey, there it is.
Right there.
You could pick his nose.
Awesome. I figured it out. Yeah. How are you doing? The chair is blocking it. Yeah, I can't. There we go.
Yeah,
there
pick his nose.
Helping you out, bro. There we go.
This is high quality entertainment, guys.
And you do that without a green screen? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but it looks like it's specific to the software here, Streamlabs.
Yeah, you could do it on the software here. It's in the settings down at the bottom. Right.
Hey, there must be a way to do this so you know how we record videos, right? Because I do have a green screen. It doesn't work because my lighting is not strong enough to actually cover all the green. But this does it. So this software exists. I gotta find how to do this because right now I'm recording through OBS.
Yeah, reach out to me after and I'll walk you through it.
I'll play the piano. It needs tuning. Sorry. My house is actually very small. It looks fancy, but like, yeah, that's all I could afford with $500.
All right, guys. Fair warning, like I said on the screen, we'll move a little bit away from Safemoon content. We got some other major news. It's not necessarily directly crypto related, but it could be. Elon Musk has officially purchased Twitter as of yesterday. The official announcement has gone out, and he has been kind of all over the place with crypto. I did a video on this yesterday. If you guys want to go check that out, a shameless plug there to go check out my video on the subject where I kind of go over the history of this. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? Like, he's been all over the place with major support for Dogecoin and Bitcoin, but then at the same time telling Tesla not to support Bitcoin because of mining issues. He's mentioned that Dogecoin could potentially be accepted as a form of payment for Twitter Blue as a kind of payment source there. What are your guys' thoughts? Do you guys feel like this is going to be negative, net positive for Twitter and for Safemoon and for crypto and for all things crypto related as far as culture goes or as far as price impact? What are your guys' thoughts? I'll kind of leave this open just for discussion.
I think it's great, man. I think it's awesome. I'm a big fan of Elon Musk and free speech at that. I kind of feel like, a lot of people on Twitter, we're being silenced, This is a free country, and we can say whatever we want. We shouldn't be shadow banned. We shouldn't be, but we should be able to say whatever the hell we want, so long as we're not,
Hold on. I don't think you should FUD Safemoon. So.
But I mean, I don't agree with a lot of things that people say, man. But I don't want to silence them neither. That's the beauty of living in this country. So I'm all for that, man. And I feel like Elon Musk is going to be a huge. It's going to make a big impact in the Twitter space with people, that were banned and people that, get shadow banned all the time for speaking their mind. So I feel, in that aspect, I feel like it's great. On the crypto side, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be that great or not. But hey, you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we hear you. Hey, Tim, I'm not taking this down until it happens.
Dude, I'm wearing.
Tim, ride that. Come on, bro. Ride that horse. Let's go. Let's see it.
I have sleep pants on, and
get up off
there's
your
no
chair,
button on
take
it.
off the headphones. And
No,
do the little
dude.
Yeehaw thing.
What kind of game are you? What kind of game is this? Hold on, I didn't know the rules.
This man spent $5 for you to do this. You can't let him down. Come on, you can't let Rocco down.
This is the first super chat.
Guys,
You do this, generation might get
I'm
more.
just saying, if you have the thing ready to cut the screen off, because if my thing comes flying out of my pants because there's no button on the.
It's me.
What the heck was that?
Oh boy!
Someone's advertisement.
Sorry,
Are they watching porn while they're doing a podcast or what?
that was not porn. That was a Toyota commercial. Check the Toyota commercial.
No one's screencast for that.
Should I
Oh,
smack
there's
it
porn
like
now
this?
going on over here.
My knees are gonna break. I'm old as shit, bro.
Bro, what was that? What are you doing? That's not a horse.
Hey
bro.
guys, keep sending more super chats telling Tim to do stuff.
No.
Yeah, I'd love to
That's
see
That's like dance hall
I'd love to
dancing.
see.
Bro.
I'm sorry we derailed you, Schmoke. You were talking about you love that it's got a major impact for free speech. It's great, and you were also mentioning on crypto side you think it's positive as well. Is that right?
Yeah. That's
Perfect.
pretty much. I'm more of. I just like that he's all for the free speech and not banning anybody. So, crypto side, honestly, I could care less as long as everybody can say what the hell they want.
Fair enough. Well said.
I mean,
I
like the fact that he's taking it over. I think there's a lot of stuff that is terrible with Twitter that needs to be fixed right away, right? Like, so
Yep.
the whole verification thing, there should be an easier way of doing it. Like, come on. I have so many people messaging me saying, hey, there's like 6 of you messaging me and I had one from Moonboy, like literally an exact copy of Moonboy's account, like messaging me, and like, I know him. So like, what is this dude trying to say to me? He's like, hey, do you want to know my crypto plays? And I was like, dude, I know your crypto plays, all right? I don't need you to tell me. And he's like, no, I have all the secrets. And then right away, I knew he was BS, right? And I was showing you guys in like a private chat, all these, it's ridiculous. There needs to be a way to verify, to get a little check mark so that these people can't keep doing that and getting away with it, right? So I think that's one of the cool things he's bringing. He's also making some of the code open source. He wants to bring an edit button. I have dyslexia, so I'll type something out and then I'll read it back and I'm like, oh my God, it's permanent. I can't change that to a that. Like I look like and I would have read it like 3 times because that's what I have to do because I just mess words up all the time. And then I'll see it. And then as soon as I hit tweet, I'm like, you idiot, because I can't fix it. And so an edit button to Twitter, I think, is a great idea. I think the cool thing is now there's going to be changes, and he is even making polls out to find out what people want to change about Twitter. And I don't think Twitter was ever too like onto like they didn't care what people wanted, and he said, hey, what about the the little verification? What do you think about the edit button? What do you think about attacking all these bots that are going on there and like ripping off accounts and stuff and like making those little fake, hey, we're Safemoon support, send me how they're trying to rip you off with your crypto and get your seed phrases. He wants to attack all that stuff. He wants to make a lot of changes to it. So I think there is a lot of positive things to it, but with all things Elon Musk, he's a little nuts. Let's be serious. So I don't know what he's going to next. He'll put Twitter on Mars, for crying out loud.
Yeah, Moonboy also was in my wife's DMs. I know it wasn't you though.
What?
It was someone else. She came up to me, says, "Hey, Moonboy just said hi to me in my DM." I'm like, "What?" I looked at it, and it had 2 followers. I'm like, "That's not Moonboy."
That is wild.
They like using you, man.
It looks.
I thought you were about to call him out. I was like, oh.
Would not be interesting, right?
Now you're gonna have to pay him to message your wife.
I think what we used to Tim is good though. I think that it's like you said, Musk is a wild man. He's having Michael Malice apparently have a meeting about all this stuff. So it's been kind of crazy as far as that goes. But I think ultimately it's positive, like you mentioned, like the spam bots. He mentioned talking about verifying all users. So like if you're a legit real person, that's your main account, you get some sort of check or some sort of way of verifying and knowing that that's a real account. So all of a sudden these spam bots are saying Safemoon support won't be verified because they're not Safemoon support. And then people could easily be able to recognize, oh, this isn't real. And it's far less likely people will fall for stupid stuff like that. Not to mention the fact they're going to have direct attacks to get rid of those bots, right? So get rid of them and the people that are trying to scam in that way, making sure they're not on the platform so they're not riddled with them all over the place. So I think it'll clean up the environment on Twitter a lot. It'll make it a little bit of a, when I say safer, I don't mean like speech wise. I just mean like not having scams, right? Safer in that regard on Twitter that way. So I think that's kind of cool that it'll have that feature available to it. And I think hopefully he'll bring new stuff to the space. We saw Twitter Spaces become a massive thing. It's had a massive impact on lots of communities, including crypto, as we're all well aware of that. And I think that he could bring other things to the space that could cause innovation. And like they talked about, the algorithm will be more open and out there. So we could maybe get more virality out of tweets about crypto. Maybe there is something in crypto right on Twitter right now that throttles some tweets about certain aspects of things. And maybe that would not be throttled anymore. So there could be a lot of changes that are positive or negative or kind of neutral. But I think I have a more positive than negative mindset moving forward on it. How about the idea of like Dogecoin or Bitcoin or other cryptos potentially being accepted as a form of payment for Twitter Blue?
That's cool.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, if you use Brave browser right now, you could tip on Twitter with what is it, basic attention token. So I think that would be pretty cool. I think he would definitely do like Dogecoin tipping and maybe allow other cryptos as well. So I think that's pretty neat. What do you guys think?
I believe that was stuff that was already in the pipeline. Bitcoin in itself, with its support, we've started to see the integration with NFTs into Twitter. I'd like to kind of throw my 2 cents into all of this. I'm going to be in the minority group, and I'm sure that there's a lot of people in the stream as well that are supportive of the idea of Elon Musk coming in. My perspective view on this is different. Elon Musk is, I believe right now, the richest person. If not, he's number 2 again. It's always kind of a battle between him and Jeff Bezos. And Elon Musk, already being that wealthy, you have to ask, why did he want to buy Twitter? What are his intentions? What if intentions kind of been shown to us in the past based on actions that he's done, especially on Twitter itself? And typically it's to manipulate markets. It happened with Tesla. The SEC did come after him for that. It happened also in addition with Dogecoin. Now, when we have an emerging sector space where a lot of projects that are legitimate, have utilities, they're trying to do something highly innovative, are trying to get the recognition and support to be able to get that worldwide adoption, to really take it to the next level, which we need to move on, because fiat, it's a broken system. We can't keep working off that model. How can we be taken serious when someone is so quick to play with people's money, to really push this idea of trying to be so pro Dogecoin as compared, I should say, to some other projects that he could have chosen? And, this is not to say that Dogecoin shouldn't have a community. I'm not saying that. Like, if people want to buy it and support it, fine. But you're the richest person in the world and you're trying to make a strong impact on something. Why are you buying one of the biggest social media platforms when you have a history of doing specific things that drive in a specific way? So now that he has internal control with that, everything else that we're talking about is everything coming out of the gate. You build good relationships with people with these things, people will be a little bit more receptive when you decide to make other changes later on. And that's something that may very well be around the corner that we're not even considering because everyone's so caught up in the flashy thing that's right in front of them right now. So I'm concerned about what his true intentions are moving forward with this. The initial things are great, but these initial things that are being discussed are the failures of deliveries and actions that the board should have had. And for something as big as Twitter, and especially because it's a social presence, there's a lot of responsibility that comes into play that. It's a privately owned company. I'm an American. I believe in free speech. I'm on the side where I believe that when you say something, there are actions that can be taken against you for those words. You cannot just freely say whatever you want and not be in jeopardy of being arrested or doing these other things. So having some degree of making sure that things don't get dangerous when people are trying to coordinate things, just as a simple example, I'm on that side where I say, okay, I understand there are other platforms people can speak out on. It's not like the whole world only uses Twitter. That's not the circumstance that's here. There's plenty of other options. Now, do more people use Twitter than other platforms? Would there be more of an impact on things that people say on this platform than other? Yes. But the market chooses where they want to be at the end of the day. If people don't like the model, they could go to someone else's model, right? If you don't like your car, you can sell it to get another car. But the truth is, people don't really like to do change and they kind of get settled in their ways. And these are all common things that we have to really look at. So I like that Elon Musk is trying to get engaged with the community. These are good starting signs, but I am highly skeptical of what his true intentions are. And I would rather see a board of individuals making executive decisions on something as big as Twitter than one individual that just kind of has almost an authoritarian standpoint that he just says what he wants and it's done. And it could be anything. It could be they change the name from Twitter to Titter. It could be that they change the provision of donating
like
for
Titter.
Bitcoin. He
Titter's
says, you know,
nice.
I'm not going to support Bitcoin. I'm only going to support Dogecoin now. It could be that. He could start, there's a whole slew of things. It's a good start, but I'm really concerned that this much power is in the hands of one person, especially when that one person has a history of doing specific things. That's my point of view on this.
Yeah, he
Call
is the
it
richest
bitter.
person in the world, by the way. So I just found that out. I looked up his net worth. He's worth $273 billion. He is like skyrocketed over Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos only has $188 billion.
Yeah, Jeff is a step down as CEO of Amazon, which is I think
plus he
where
had
a
to
massive
split it.
proportion of his income came from.
Plus, he had to split it with his ex-wife. So
Yeah.
he lost a lot of it. So Elon has him up a little bit by about almost $100 billion, which is nothing. I mean, he just lost 44 of that. That's piss in a bucket for him. $44 billion.
And imagine, I think that Atlas, I know he stepped away, had a really good perspective on, counter perspective to that, it is one person controlling it, which could lead to obviously negative side effects if you wanted to go that route. But again, it's also the opposite. The opposite could also be true. The positive he could do. I mean, for all we know, he could make Twitter the best platform ever, and all of a sudden he gets a massive rate of return, and all of a sudden he's 3 times as wealthy as Bezos now. So it's just crazy the direction this could go. It's like Al was saying, we don't know the direction he's going to take it. So it could be really positive, really negative, or a mixed bag. But I guess we'll have to kind of wait and see how it plays out. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to do a little bit of a break in our dialogue here to do some super chat appreciation. The great Gooch here let us know that Gandalf is in the house. So thank you, Gandalf, for being here.
Yay.
Thank you for the donation, Great Gooch. Always a pleasure to have you here. You always make the streams very interesting. Nan2Trees4 says, you guys are awesome. Keep up the great work. Twitter needs saving. American flag, free speech. Thank you. We appreciate your support and the $10 donation. I really appreciate it. And we stand with you. Yeah, I'm all for free speech. I've talked about that a little bit before on my channel. I'm all for freedom of ideas. So I look forward to hopefully seeing more of that on Twitter. So thank you for that. The great Gooch has made a special donation to Atlas here. Says that you can use this money to pick yourself up a lady of the street if you'd like. So
He said hooker. Thank you.
There you go.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Another $5 donation. The Great Gooch says, "Good Lord, here's some money. Please get it done." So there's another $5 for that. And then, of course, we got the Gooch back again saying titter.
Okay.
For people wondering, that did not come out of nowhere. He's actually legitimately asked in a poll if people would like him to drop the W. So we'll see
Yeah,
if
I
that
mean,
happens.
I would like to send some teats.
So
Yeah, just want to hop in with my opinion real quick. So I think this is awesome. Elon Musk is a memer, and I love memes. Memes are very important. We need to respect memes. Memes give us, if you're having a bad day, you're depressed, you go on the Reddit, you hop on some memes. You watch those videos where it's like a compilation of people falling down and tripping up and bunching off of trampolines. And memes are awesome. And Elon is a meme lord. He's glorifying a meme coin. I mean, come on, isn't that great? I love it, right? So I love that Twitter is in. I kind of look at Elon as he's rich, he's a billionaire. But he's kind of one of us, right? He just acts like some random teenager on Twitter, just stupidness all the time. And I love it. It's great. He's like one of us. He's not trying to be politically correct. He's not trying to be this politician or professional. He just like whatever he wants to tweet. He doesn't care. Stupid, whatever. He's just like, yo, this is me. I'm going to do whatever I want over here. I'll be professional on these interviews about Tesla and Cybertrucks, but on Twitter, I'm stupid, and I love it, and it's great. So it's almost like Twitter is in the people's hands, right? It's kind of like The Rock, the people's champion. I see like Elon is the undefined people's champion in a sense because he's like one of us. He has all this cash, and he's just being stupid all the time on Twitter and tweets. We know he's not stupid. He's a very, very smart man. He's incredibly smart. His knowledge, his intellect is second to none. You cannot match that man when it comes to anything. I mean, I can't even think about talking to him. I feel like I'll be so dumb. I couldn't even relate one sentence, much less an hour-long conversation with Elon. This is so fun. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen. This is an incredible meme, and I love it. I love all of it when it comes to just, fun. And I feel like, the world's very serious. People really like to be uptight, and not everything needs to be so professional and serious and by the book. You got to have fun. Look at Atlas over here showing a Goku statue when we're trying to talk about Twitter and billion dollars.
It's because of this here.
Atlas
this year super chat.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. Atlas is
Wait, was that a pocket rocket?
That's not a pocket rocket.
There you go. From the Great Gooch himself.
That man.
So yeah.
I
think it's awesome. Crypto had a little bit of a pump yesterday. I'm sure that was off of the news because Elon is kind of pro crypto. It's kind of not. It's kind of back and forth on whether Bitcoin is good or not. Obviously, due to the fact that you mine Bitcoin and how that's handled, does it produce greenhouse gases? Like he's always back and forth on whether Bitcoin specifically is, I guess, ethical or whatever you want to say. But I think it's great. I'm looking forward to what he does. I think the first thing he said is that he wants to extend the amount of characters you can type in a tweet. I think you're limited to about 80 or something like that. It's very annoying, right? That's when people have to do 1 of 8, 2 of 8, 3 of 8, this long thread. Versus if someone just want to type 100 or 200 characters instead of doing 8 pieces of thread, you do 4. I feel that there's a cool little quality life things he can do there. But I think Elon is fun. I think he's awesome. He's funny. He's smart.
He's doing the most. He's having the most fun out of all the multi-millionaires we've ever had. He's having the most fun with his money. He's doing really cool shit, man.
Dude's
and he's changing the world at the same time.
Yeah,
incredible.
Bro. His self-driving cars were supposed to be launched last year, and they're pretty close to completion. But there's still issues with how the cameras on the car navigate and map the roads within 12 feet of 12 feet of each other because he did an interview with TED Talk, I think about 2 weeks ago. He talked about how these cars work, right? So there's essentially cameras everywhere, and the cameras are talking to each other, and they're mapping X amount of distance in front of it, the side of it, above it, everywhere. And then that's how it drives. That's how we know that cars are beside it, boulders are in front of it, there's a bridge above it. And he talked about the limitations of how difficult that is. People are just driving these cars and think it's fun, but to have all these cameras talk to each other and have them map the entire United States, having a car go from California to New York, man, like he is serious. Like he is doing things that we saw in, I think it was I Robot, the movie with Will Smith, where he actually had a self-driving car. And it was fun, it was cool, and we're like, man, that's never going to happen in my lifetime. We're here. He is literally advancing the world so far beyond where I even thought we would ever come in my lifetime. And it's so fun to see. So Elon is this billionaire just having fun, doing whatever he wants. No one needs a self-driving car. He just wants to do it. I think that's great. So Elon is for the people. I loved it. And
just let's put this out there, Elon, if you're watching, because sometimes I heard he tunes into this show. You could, if you bought a $44 million bag of Safemoon, you would get so many reflections. Plus, my bag would probably go up substantially. So if you want to do that, I'm so for it, brother. I will give you a high five.
If he paid $44 million, would he just buy like
saying billion.
Okay, wouldn't he buy all of SafeMoon for even like $44 million at this point?
No,
Someone's got to do the math. What would the market like? Not the market cap, but what would the price instantly do? That's got to be insane.
It's $1 tomorrow.
It would be like,
you see the chart. It's $1.25.
He would just end up being exit liquidity for so many people because that market cap would bounce off the ceiling so fast.
Like, I know people are like hodl, right? But if he put in $44 billion in the Safemoon, guys, I'm freaking jumping out.
I was just about to ask you that.
Tim, he's gonna buy version 1.
Oh shit!
And then try to dump it on the market. Like he's trying to do eternal. He's like telling the community, he's like, guys, I have to sell more Tesla shares. I can't really go into the legalities behind it yet, but I made a mistake.
That wouldn't even faze him. Seriously, if the dude still bought $44 billion worth of Safemoon, he would still have like over 120 or $220 billion. So it's like, no, it doesn't faze him at all. So
drop in a bucket, man.
Yeah, come on to the Safemoon army, buddy.
Yeah, that would provide so much exit liquidity. And like you said, a lot of people would say diamond hands, but they'd be everyone would be paper fisted the second.
I don't even think he needs
Ben Phillips.
I don't even think he needs to buy any. All he got to do is mention it one time and that's it.
No, he has to buy $44 billion.
But $44 billion would be the largest jump ever. Okay.
Can we have that be a meme of itself? Like when you say, oh, I'm diamond handed and you sell it, just call it like, oh, you just pulled a Ben Phillips.
Just paper fisted it.
Well, they did say to Elon, if you don't like it, make your own. So he did the most savage thing possible. He bought the damn thing savage. Yeah, I guess it's true. People kept saying, if you don't like this, how it works, get your own. He just said, well, why don't I just buy it and change it?
I'll make it my own.
I'll make it my own. There you go. Okay, well, I think we covered that topic. Anything else you guys want to address on that?
Elon is awesome. That's all I got to say.
All right. Let's move on a little bit of a shift here, another pivot. Forex Shark had an AMA today that was handled on my brain just went numb. On Telegram, that's what it was. He had an AMA on Telegram today and talked about Drip and talked mostly about the piggy bank launch because a lot of people know the piggy bank and Animal Farm has been on pause for the better part of 2 months. Well, they've had to make some corrections and new adjustments to that. And they're finally going to be launching that next week is the big week of real release on that. And then the rest of the Animal Farm will follow. Kind of want to get your guys' mindset on that. He also dropped more information about a drip lending protocol. If you guys want, I can go into detail about what that constitutes, at least from what we know so far. But kind of want to get your overall sense of just kind of the whole Forex Shark ecosystem and the AMA that we have today. So any of you guys can talk about it. I'm going to call on someone first to get it started. I'm going to put Schmoke on the spot as our guest today. What were your thoughts about kind of the overall market with that?
Well, I caught little bits and pieces of the AMA. I didn't listen to it all the way. But I did hear that he's this whole lending protocol thing sounds really cool, especially when I believe it's peer to peer. If I understand it correctly. That's unheard of in the crypto space. From what I understand, I mean, I think it's great. I don't know much about the piggy bank. I don't know much about what's going on with these pigs. I'm not invested in that. But the lending protocol, I feel is going to be a game changer. Drip is a great project, man. I mean, I'm not too vocal about Drip, with what's going on with the community and stuff like that. But I feel like it's great, man. I don't know much. Like I said, I don't know much about the piggy bank, and I'm not invested in that. But this lending protocol is pretty cool.
Yeah, so you're right. It is a peer-to-peer. So the way that it works, at least according to him, and I'm sure we'll get more information as he's ready to announce that. But essentially, the way it works is there's just going to be a smart contract protocol that you can provide lending if you wanted to provide your drip as a lending to another peer, you could do so through this smart contract protocol, and you would get a return on that, on a return on investment, and whatever the rate is, it's been undecided. But essentially, it would be for an interest rate, like you would as a bank to somebody else. It would be for interest rate. And then the other party could then take a loan for that interest rate and then pay it back for whatever they want. So it's just like a regular loan. The difference here is the big issue that's come about with insurance policies in crypto and with really any other type of lending protocol where there's no intermediary party is collateral issues, right? Because if I take a loan, what's to stop me from just saying see ya and then never taking that money back, giving that money back, right? And then the lender is just stuck with never getting their capital back, right? So how it works is essentially your collateral would be your faucet. So you would have to have a certain amount in the faucet compared to the loan that you take. And then if you're unable to pay the loans back, your faucet rewards would go to the lender instead of to you. So it's kind of the way that would be a collateral to your loan, which is awesome because it basically removes any need for a middleman for lending. So you're in a tight spot where you want to start a business or whatever. Oh, I've got enough money in my deposit now to take care of the collateral and that. Bam, I'm able to take out my loan. I can start my own crypto project. I can spin that around and do something else with it, whatever you wanted to do. And everyone benefits. You get the funding you would probably never get through a bank system, right? Because banks have all the bridges you'd have to cross with, let's say your credit's in bad setting or whatever. You don't have to deal with the bank and getting pre-qualified and all that stuff. You still get lending. The lender makes money from the lending protocol. And at the end of the day, even if you can't pay back the loan, there's a collateral so the lender is going to get their money paid back either way. So I think it's pretty interesting, cool idea. I hope to see it play out really well. And I'd like to see what that's going to look like in the real space. But concept-wise, it seems awesome to me. What do you guys think?
Wow, that is heavy. So let me, I'm not sure how informed you are of this. So if I wanted to borrow $100,000, does my deposit back have to be 100K? Can you only borrow what you have in your deposit, or what's the limitations there?
He hasn't gone into detail. That's basically what I said is basically all the info that we have for the most part. He said he would go into more detail later. It's with a partnership and a bunch of other things. And he said he wants to get the stuff with the animal farm out of the way, get the UIs updated and all that stuff. And then the stuff with the Chainlink and PancakeSwap. And then he'll talk about that in more detail. But that's like coming very soon. It's going to happen. It's just he'll give further details down the road when it's about to be implemented.
If I have to make an assumption on that, it's probably not going to be the full extent because you have market volatility. So if you look at an example, let's say BlockFi, and you want to go through their DeFi lending type system, the collateral that you are putting up is going to be exponentially higher in comparison to the fiat that you're receiving because of the fact that discrepancies can take place. If you just used it based on face value, the market could dump tomorrow and it could go down 50%, et cetera. So I think what could very well play out is you look at how much your max payout is, and there's some sort of range that Forex through his analytics and his team would be able to identify as a specific point based on current market price. And then that can sort of evaluate because you have that variable range of continuity afterwards, if possible. That's what I would kind of assume.
I think from what he said, the lending would be in drip token. It wouldn't be in fiat or another or BUSD or anything like that. It would be in drip itself. So it would be a drip to drip lending protocol, from what I understand.
I give you drip, you give me drip. We all be drip and drip.
Exactly. Nailed it.
So I can take a loan out in drip, and I can take that drip and put it in the faucet to create my drip deposit to be even bigger. And I can use my earnings to double pay off that loan faster, and then end up with a really big deposit of drip. And I think that's going to be a really cool play. But yeah, man, I love drip. Drip for me, I think has proven itself to be a really cool bear market token. We've been in the bear market for the better part of the last couple months. No one's making money off of price action at all, right? Drip had its massive run up, but it's chill, man. Like it's between $30 to about 38, and it's been there for about 3 months now. It's kind of bouncing. So for people who have a very comfortable back size at its point, if you were claiming the entire time, you would have been claiming the same amount the entire time, which has really proven itself quite well when it comes to holding up a price floor for the last couple of months. And we know that the developer Forex Shark has been very heavy on the animal farm and building that whole ecosystem out with having version 2 contracts of the Piggy token. And then now he wants to have another version 2 of the dog token based off of some issues that the syrup pools in PancakeSwap had from swapping from their V1 syrup to V2. So he has to pull the contracts off and have a whole new dogs V2. So that's coming later on. But I really do have confidence in Forex. This whole thing when it comes down to the farm, he's really taken a lot of time. And it's actually quite annoying. I actually do have money down on the farm that I could have been earning this entire time. I'm not earning anything, just a couple thousand in there and just sitting there doing nothing. Kind of annoying, right? But I also appreciate his patience and his attention to detail. He stresses so often that he just wants to get it done right. And there's hiccups along the way. And obviously we've experienced hiccups and delays and, oh, Safemoon's going to drop this and then doesn't drop. Like we're all used to prolonged activity and products not dropping on time. But the fact that he's really trying to, okay, well, this is an issue, I got to fix it first. Or we're going to launch, but wait, I found this, now we're going to fix this first. So it can be annoying with the back and forth, but I can understand what he's doing from a person who wants to protect the capital of the investors. I'm not a developer. I can only imagine what that goes into when it comes to building these contracts and proxies and having all them talk to each other. So I can definitely appreciate him wanting to protect capital, right? The partnership is very bullish. Actually, I had 2 BNB in my wallet chilling. I bought more drip. I'm being honest. I bought more drip. I increased my bag size. So I think I'm around the 240 drip in my deposit. And I'm kind of in a new strategy of, compound, claim, compound, claim. So I'm taking a little bit of profits because I do want to put some allocation into other projects since we are in a bear market and things. There's a lot of sales of tokens right now. But I'm very excited for drip. Forex is wild with his predictions. He's calling for $1,000 drip end of year. That is something I don't think a developer should be putting out there. I don't think a developer should put price predictions out of their own token. I trust he knows what he's doing, right? But now people's going to hold his opinion to that. Okay, Forex is calling a $1,000 drip end of year. If it doesn't happen, well, kind of sucks, right? Why are you giving price predictions when you really don't know what's going to happen? You don't know what investors' confidence is going to be. You don't know how the partnerships are going to work when they're actually live and you guys are working together. So I don't like the fact he drops his price prediction. He dropped like a 3,000 drip in the next couple of years, and it very well could get there. The lending protocol, the partnerships, all these things are very good catalysts for the price to go up. But I wish you would kind of hold back on the price predictions. But if drip did go to $1,000, then my God, I'm sure all of us are sitting very large. And that's just really incredible passive income for anyone who's actually in the protocol. So I'm excited.
Did he really give a price prediction of $1,000?
That's not even his low. That's not even his
that.
highest.
Yeah,
His
so
highest
he
price
did
prediction is 5K.
Yeah, so
I thought it was 8K.
No, but was it an actual price prediction? From what I understand, I heard him talk about it, but he was saying, according to analytics, it could get to this. It could
That's
get to
correct.
But is that an actual price prediction?
Yeah, so he didn't say I predict this, right? But he is putting a number out there, and he kind of made it seem possible. So he said, based off the amount of TVL we can have locked up end of year, if we get X amount of people, we do this. If all these things in the works, drip is going to be minimum $1,000. So he's kind of speculating on what is to come, and the effect of what's to come is the increase of price of drip going up. And he's calling for all of those bullish scenarios to bring drip to $1,000. So it's not like he said, okay, price prediction $1,000, but still, I feel like as a developer putting those numbers out there, people are going to hold you to that.
Absolutely.
People are thinking drip is going to go to $1,000. I'm going to buy more right now because it's going to be $1,000. Why would I not buy it? $30 right now, $1,000 in a couple months. I'm rich, so it can be a little damaging when it comes. It is a little. Just being naive and aping in and not understanding what they're doing. That's the only thing I'm saying. But he didn't definitively say, I predict this. He said, list of scenarios, best case scenario, this is what could happen, X amount of TVL, drip is $1,000 minimum. So
what he said as well in his AMA, he said pigs are going to moon, quote.
Said that as well. He needs to watch himself.
That right there is extremely careless, I believe, especially coming from a developer. You got to really, really walk a fine line when you're saying things like that, because again, if it doesn't happen, they're going to tear them apart. So, yeah.
So One thing that I really want to point out is that we had a very big historic moment with Drip Network that occurred over the course of the last week that we have not really brought up here yet, unless I spaced out for just a couple of seconds, which is that they passed the 1 year mark. And when you look at the design model of Drip Network, there's two specific thresholds that prevent this from going into super hyperinflation. And so these design mechanisms are, number one, 365%. That's a cap. That's based on your value that's in your deposit. So whatever amount of drip is in your deposit account, your max payout is 365% times that. That can be extended out instead of a year. It could be taking longer because you decide to add more in deposits and compounding and airdrops. Like, you got a series of things that takes place with all that. And then the second element is the 100, was it 100 or 150,000 drip? I'm trying to remember.
100K.
100,000.
Yeah, 100,000 drip. Right. So that's the second mechanism that's set up as a cap. But because we passed the 1 year mark, what this is showing is that from the inception of drip being created, there are now people out there, and it will continue to happen on per day basis, where they didn't compound, they didn't do more deposits, they didn't get any airdrops, and they have hit their max payout. And this proves that the design system that Forex Shark has come up with works. And as more time goes by, it just validates that even more. We now have one of those measurements, that cap, that shows that the system is sustainable in full action, right? Meeting its specific threshold. So I think that's something that's really powerful, and it adds more credibility every single day that this project goes on. And when you look at the market, you look at some other comparable tokens, and you look at what we were just talking about with the Animal Farm. Drip's price hasn't really moved in the last 2 months or so, right? Well, what else has not really moved in the last 2 months? It's the Animal Farm. So there's a bit of a relationship there when you got the same creator that has also incorporated in the Animal Farm drip. It does play a role in with that, of the price is not really moving. Now, the prices could be going down way more. The way I look at it is that with the price being as low as it is right now, all I have to do is I keep compounding. When I look on compound calculators, it's fun for me. It's like, you know, those RPG games you do with your calculator, you're always estimating how much, oh, I got X amount of Safemoon. It could, if it hits this price, I'll make this much money. Like, we go through those kinds of stages, right? I do the same thing with my amount of drip that's in my deposit to see when I'll hit my next 100 goal of drip in my deposit. And then you look at it, you're like, okay, so it's going to take me 23 days to get to this next 100. But then the next one, it's only going to take me 17 days to get to 100 past that. And that's where compound interest really kicks in. So I don't have to claim, and I haven't been. While this market's been really down with all this, I just keep compounding. And now I'm seeing much more exponential daily drip earnings potential that I could claim and do and sell if I want to. And the price hasn't really changed. So can you imagine, with us being in a bear market right now, Animal Farm comes back up, people start coming back in, the sentiment about the project and drip and Forex Shark in general, everyone's like more positive and they believe more in the project moving forward, right? Because it being halted for 2 months, it raises questions. That's just a simple fact. There are people out there, they're like, I don't know about if I should invest in drip now. Like, maybe this thing was all coordinated, you know, rug pull or whatever. Like, they halted trade. You have all that kind of stuff coming out. You get this back up next week. Imagine the market starts to come back up. The reputation that Forex Shark has had prior to the drip, and then with drip's official launch and with the initial launch of Animal Farm, there are a lot of signs really pointing to the fact that we could see a significant bull run. Now, can you imagine if you were the person that's buying in at a $30 price point? And I'm not saying this is financial advice. Please understand, go do your own research, guys. The price right now is significantly lower than the all-time high. The all-time high was almost $200 a piece. Imagine how many drip you could buy at nearly a $200 price. Now imagine how many drip you could buy at a $31 price. You don't even know if this system will work. What if somebody bought one drip right now? Oh, whoop-de-doo, you spent $31, right? Now that compound design system progressively over time is allowing you to accumulate more and more and more. Now, buying one drip, it's going to take you a long time to get to 10 drip as compared to going from 10 to 20, because that's how compound interest works. But to me, this is extremely exciting. I've talked to a lot of different developers for different crypto projects, and I've talked to a lot of different CEOs, etc. I would say, in my personal opinion, I have never seen someone as intelligent as Forex Shark as a developer. He talks way too much, but when you listen to him, you can understand that he really understands things inside and out. And so I'm excited to see him shift his focus from the animal farm once that's back live, back over to drip and really elevating that to a whole other level. So I'm super bullish on it. I think we're in an incredible time right now. And even with it being down, as significant as it is, just from compounding alone, I think this is the best investment that I've made of any project that I've gotten into.
Do you mind if I share some crazy math on that?
I do mind. Don't tell us. No, I'm kidding. Go
right.
ahead.
So if you had one drip token in the faucet, you just bought the one drip, regardless of price, you bought the one drip. How long do you guys think it would take before your drip would have enough in the deposit for you to hit the 100,000 max deposit? I mean, max payout. So not that you would actually pull it all out, but that it would actually hit the market at the point where you would start just having a year of just claiming until it was all out.
5 years.
5 years is your guess?
I'll say 3 years.
3 years even?
Yeah, 3 years even.
Mine's a little over 4 years.
4 years, Moonboy? What's your guess?
Perhaps.
We need the Price is Right music.
Go for it, buddy.
I think about
2.5?
Go.
Yeah.
2.5. Atlas is the closest.
Yeah, give me my money. Where's my prize? I want the wheel.
It's 2 weeks shy of 3 years. If you compounded once a day, every day, at the same time, every 24 hours with 1 year deposit, it would take just shy 2 weeks, just shy of 3 years. So to hit that number, and then of course you'd have to claim it. That's everyday compounding, never claiming, and then after that you would have an entire 365 period of being able to claim until you ran out, and then that wallet would be toast.
And not including if you compound more than once a day, right?
That's true. Yeah, if you compound more frequently, that would speed up the timeline.
And if you get airdrops.
And if you get airdrops because you're on someone's team, they're giving you the 2.5% kickback. That also increases the time frame, or rather reduces the time frame on that. And of course, if you had any referrals, that also reduces the time frame. So there's a lot of things to reduce that. But it's crazy to think that one token could be worth that many in just a 3 year period, right? In crypto, 3 years is a lot, though. But
what's the price going to be in 3 years?
Yeah,
$31. I don't know about that, man.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, it's just kind of crazy math when you think about that stuff. That's obviously not financial advice. It's just looking at the math and how it works. Of course, we want people to go out there and do their own research on the project. We've done content on it as content creators, but we feel like you guys are intelligent people, and you guys, as the audience, can make your own decisions. So feel free to go out and do your own research and come to your own conclusions. You don't have to agree with us. You can say that we're all crazy, and that's fine with us. But we just want you to make your own decisions on that.
What do you? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, please.
What do you think about this this partnership with the Pancake Swap and Chainlink?
I think it looks good to them. I think it looks good for them. I feel like Chainlink and PancakeSwap have a reputation, and it's a positive reputation in the space. I think that morally, I don't necessarily always agree with gambling because I feel like a lot of people, some people do it for fun, and they understand that they're mostly throwing their money away for a sliver of a chance of a gain, and it's all fun and games. I don't have a problem with that. But there's a lot of people who really put themselves in a lot of financial ruin because of gambling, and people who gain addictions to it, and then it becomes a problem. So there's a lot of moral issues with gambling on my end. I don't necessarily support 100%, but I recognize that partnership with Chainlink and being able to do the scratch offs and all that stuff could provide a lot of funds to keep the drip ecosystem healthy. It could also bring a lot of positive price action. So there's the goods there, but how they're getting there, I kind of have issues with, but they're going through the right legal process. They've got a good legal team to help them make sure that everything's going to be taken care of legally. So I'm not worried about that end of things, but that's just kind of where I stand. But other people could probably disagree with me on that.
How is Chainlink exactly? I'm not exactly sure how that works. How is Chainlink associated with them? I know it's the lottery system. What are they using from Chainlink to make this happen?
Do any of you guys want to answer that?
I don't know the answer off the top of my head.
From what I understand, they haven't released the full details on it. I know that like I said, they just said it's a partnership. This is kind of what it's going to look like. From what I understand, Chainlink does do stuff like this associated with things like this, but the specific details of what their side of things will be and what Drip side of things will be are unclear yet. We'll get the details on that, the specifics, probably next week, I would imagine. After Animal Farm's kind of out of the way, we'll get all the details of how that'll work and stuff. And of course, I'll do a video on it to go over the details when that comes.
One thing I really want to point out here to people that are listening is that if you don't know about Chainlink and you're making accusations against Drip and its reputation, then I think you should first start off by looking into Chainlink and see who they are. They're a blue chip based cryptocurrency, top 100. I think they're top 25 possibly at the moment. They have formed a lot of partnerships with other big name crypto projects. They are definitely a name in the industry space, and they're a heavy hitter. So you should really raise the question of who understands what Drip is really doing more. Is it some person on Twitter that is just some random dude that you just heard them say specific things that they clearly didn't actually do their research on? There's plenty of research material out there. Or would it be a multi-billion-dollar company? Do you think really Chainlink would not have been aware of any of this stuff? They wouldn't have seen anything going on in social media. They wouldn't have investigated into any. Like, what does that make you think about their reputation and their level of intelligence? So I look at something like that and I say, oh, look, this reputable company is associating themselves with this project. Maybe the project is more legitimate. Then you look at PancakeSwap, another one that's pretty well known, very well known, I should say. Same thing. And what else? At what point, how many partnerships, how many utilities with companies and businesses that you know, are you going to look at it and say like, I was wrong. I shouldn't have listened to that other person. Oh, darn. I was told about this when it was $31. I wish I would have gotten in. I'm mad at that person because I decided to listen to them instead, right? You're going to have people that do that. You may not believe me right now, but this is how a lot of the stuff works in this space. So, you know, you want to go and learn more about this instead of just listening to what some random dude says on Twitter. Go watch videos, go look at the interviews, go read the white paper, go look at the code. You don't know how to read the code? Go watch this guy's video. He broke it down. This guy I'm pointing to is Generation Crypto in case someone's listening.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Alice. To kind of finish up, we've got a few minutes left before we close out of here. I want to play a game as we've all been doing different games. I have yet to come up with a creative game, so my game's going to be a little bit lame this week, but I'll think about it for the next 6 to 8 weeks before it's my turn again, and I'll come with something a little bit more fun and elaborate. But for today, it's going to be a little bit similar to the ones we played in the past. I'm going to name 2 crypto projects, and based purely on the name, without any rhyme or reason, you're going to have to tell me which one has a higher price per token or coin. That's it. No market cap, no nothing. Just purely off the name. You have to tell me which token or coin has a higher price per coin or token. You guys ready to play?
Ready.
Let's go.
Okay. We're going to start off with Crypto Atlas. I'm going to give you 2. All right?
Okay.
DeFi Chain and Lido DAO. DeFi Chain and Lido DAO. We'll give everyone a chance to put in the comment section their answers to lock those in.
Sure.
Which one they think has a higher price per token. These are all DeFi, so they're all going to be tokens, to make that clear. And they're all relatively close on market cap sizes, the comparisons I'm making.
Okay, I'm going to say Lido Coin. You said Lido Coin is the second one?
Yeah, Lido DAO.
Lido DAO. I'm going to go with Lido DAO.
All right, Lido DAO versus DeFi Chain, and you are incorrect.
Ah, damn it. I should have gone with my gut. I changed my idea.
At current prices, is worth $2.99, and DeFi Chain is worth $4.14.
I lost money again. Damn it.
All right, let's move over to Moonboy here. Moonboy, let's give you a good couple one. You got to have some redemption from last week here.
Need it, man.
So
you guys cucked me.
I'm gonna give you 2: Liquidity and Venus. Liquidity and Venus.
I actually know those 2 tokens. I think it's Venus.
You are correct.
Yeah, boy.
There you go.
You gave it.
Shmoke, we're gonna have you keep you here every week for our DJ for this stuff.
Yeah, man.
Congratulations. You just won a brand new car.
All right.
That's fire.
For those wondering what the prices were on Liquidity, it is $1.69, and Venus is $9.48. So Moonboy is in the lead currently for this round. We'll move over to Tim here.
Oh boy.
All right,
some
Tim, I got to give
Venus.
you a good one. All right, let's see. All right, does Polka Starter
Oh boy. Love that some Polka Starter.
or Balancer have a higher price per token?
Oh, I actually own Polka Starter, so Polka Starter.
You are incorrect.
And you're a liar.
I don't know Polka Starter.
Balancer is like $30 or something, right?
Balancer is $14.60, And let's see, Polka Starter is $1.16.
Yeah, but that $1 feels like 100. So,
Okay, for Schmoke, our main man Schmoke. Let me go like several pages back to get to these crazy ones in here. All right, I got a good one for you. Do you think Pickle Finance or let's see here, Clearpool has a higher price per token?
Wow, pickle and clear pool. Huh? You're gonna give me those weird ones. All right. Let's go with pickle.
You are correct.
Hey, yeah.
Let's
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Also win a
way.
brand new car. Everyone wins a brand new car except for
and
me.
goes to Disney.
It needs to be a Cybertruck. Though. I don't want anything
All
else.
right.
Going to Iron
So,
Man's house.
because of timing here, just to get everyone clear, Clearpool has a price of 14 cents, and Pickle has a whopping $4.48 per token.
Damn.
Now,
I'd
because
give you
of
a
time,
nickel
we
Who
for
would
a
have
can't.
thought pickles?
I know, right?
People
Because
love
of
their
time, we don't
pickles.
have enough time to go through the whole circle again. So we're gonna do a showdown here. It's gonna be between Schmoke and Moonboy for the top spot,
Let's go.
All right.
Oh, my boy.
and then we'll go from here. All right. So let's see
Oh, I
here.
was thinking Hoedown. I thought they're going to sing right now.
They can do the.
Whose line is it
All right.
anyways?
They're gonna
I
arm wrestle.
love crypto.
Is that
It's
what a
what's on there
hoedown
for
is?
me. I'm going to buy it because I got to pee. I don't know.
All right. Let's see here. We've got for
Suspense.
Moonboy. You've got two options here. You got Tiger King coin,
Mhm.
or
Squid Games.
let's see,
Squid Games.
That one will get Tiger King coin will get you in
Squid
jail.
Games.
Just by the
Squid
way.
Games.
or the Ethereum network.
Jesus. Tiger
Peter
King
Carroll
sounds like
basket
one of those quadrillion supply tokens. So I think I want to go with the Ethereum network.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ethereum has actually. Let's go to Tiger King first. Tiger King has a price point of 0. Let's see how many zeros there are.
I knew it. I knew it was a meme coin. I knew it. I
One,
knew it,
two,
bro.
3, 4, 5. 5 zeros.
It's a
5,
quadrillion
3.
token.
And Ethereum has a price of 0.06. So just 6 cents.
Hey.
You got the one on that one. So
Got
2
that.
there.
He got
All
it.
right. You
You
got it.
right.
Yeah, my boy.
Nice.
2
Nice.
for 2. Smoke, you got to beat me.
All
You
right.
gotta time me at
Here we
least.
go.
Let's go.
For all the marble smoke, this is it. If you
Let's
win,
go.
you tie. We go one more round. If you lose, then you're out.
Let's go,
You
man.
suck. You suck if you lose.
Okay. Does opium
Mm.
have a higher price per token, or does White Heart?
Let's go with Whiteheart.
All right. Opium's price is 0.43, so 43 cents for opium. And for White Heart, it has a price of $219.20. So by a large
Boy.
margin, that man is right.
He knew it.
2 for 2.
Oh my God, you guys.
All right. They got to do one more. We got to have a winner. Okay.
Now
let's
it's
make it-
overtime.
Now it's overtime. Moonboy, does Pi DAO Do V2 or Octofi have a higher token price?
So Pi DAO Do V2. V2 usually mean they probably do a consolidation. So
Consolidation. But how long
Pi
after the
DAO Do
consolidation?
V2 or Octofi?
Octofi.
Your final answer is Octofi.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
boy.
Okay. Pi
laughing.
DAO Do V2 has a price. Actually, let's go Octofi first. Octofi has a price of $3.22 a token.
Okay.
And Pi DAO Do V2 has a price of 17 cents. So you are correct.
Hey.
No, he
No,
was
what are you
right,
doing, bro? I
Smoke.
got it right. I got it right.
You got it
He's
right.
wrong. He's wrong.
No, he got it right.
I want to win this
3
one.
for 3.
It's like
All
you are.
right.
Oh, he can't hear. Did he win it? You are. I can't tell what he said.
All right, let's see here. Let's get one that's stupidly close to see.
Let's go.
Does APY swap or Unitrade have a higher price per token? And it might change while I'm looking at it because of how close they are.
I would say Uni.
Unitrade. APY swap has a price of 0.4 cents 4.692. So 4.692 cents. And Unitrade has a price of 4.26 cents. So unfortunately, you are incorrect today.
Moon Boy's
That
the
means
winner.
Drew
Moon Boy,
cheated.
the winner.
He took so long to read that because he was waiting for the update.
So I won, right?
No, you lost. I won.
Moon Boy,
Moon Boy won,
unfortunately, is the winner this
Moon
week.
Boy
How does
won.
it feel, Tim? I beat
Congrats, man. Congrats.
But
You beat me.
you.
congratulations to all.
bro. Didn't you win the last one?
Everyone beats me.
You win an entire warehouse of brand new cars.
I like your
Atlas, we love your
piano,
cars.
Atlas. It's nice.
Thank you. It's a
very
Yamaha.
beautiful piano.
Yeah, it sounds like crap though.
Can you play it? Do you know what you're doing?
I need to get it tuned.
Okay.
Yeah, the hammers don't come down. Technically, it's a percussion instrument. I learned that from someone recently. I think it was you, Generation. Somebody told me that recently.
What
They're like,
I tell
"Oh,
you?
did you?" Somebody told me recently. They're like, a piano is a percussion instrument.
Oh yeah, that was me. Yeah, I remember. that
yeah, I
conversation.
learned that recently from you.
Damn you,
Yeah.
Generation. You're like a walking encyclopedia, you son of a beautiful man.
That sounded like it was going to be an insult, but then it ended up being a beautiful compliment. So thank you.
That's I trick people with negative annotations, but then it comes out nice.
Well, thank you guys all for participating tonight, and thank you guys all for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and close out for some final statements. Let's just make it super fast. If you guys want to plug anything you guys want, just say goodbye. Let's not make it too long because we're already a little bit overtime here. We'll start off with Atlas and go around the table. So I want to give your final goodbyes.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, showing your support. I know that the markets have been pretty rough and not a lot of great news going on overall, but we're so happy to have you guys here and raising your questions or just participating in some of the fun. And we, as you guys hopefully are seeing, these roundtables have continuously been evolving. I like the fact that, Tim, you started sort of this concept of us putting in some sort of a game. You did it, and then I did it on my channel, and Generation Crypto also has done something like that. So you guys are seeing we are still trying to make some moves. Let's see how the markets continue to move next week, and we'll let you guys know more details about who's going to be hosting. We do have a crypto roundtable. I'm going to go ahead and provide the link in the chat there again. It's free to join. We'd love to have you guys be a part of that. And thank you so much. God bless everybody.
Thank you, Alice. Moonboy?
Yeah, always fun talking, guys, and talk about DeFi, crypto, the markets, everything. So had a great time. Smoke, it was great having you on as a guest. We definitely hope to have you on the future. Hopefully it's not having to address FUD when it comes to videos and what people think and all this stuff. So yeah, awesome time, man. You guys are incredible. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Tim?
To all the viewers, thank you for tuning in. And giddy up.
And Smoke, our guest for the evening. Any final words for the audience? Feel free to plug your socials and anything else you have.
Yeah, I want to shout out my Safemoon and Espanol family. I got my hoodie on today. Safemoon and Espanol, for those of you that don't know, man. I know you've been on the space a few times, Generation, and yeah, man. Shout out to everybody there. They're doing big things, man, and helping the community out, Spanish space. I don't know if you guys heard the song. They got a Safemoon and Espanol. So you guys heard it?
I don't think I've heard it yet.
Well, it's
No.
Look it up. It's on SFM Espanol on YouTube. You can look up the song. We all came together as a collective and made a motivational Safemoon song. It's pretty cool. And yeah, also I'm part of the Enhance e-unit member. And guys, what Enhance is doing with these NFTs, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but the roadmap is insane. Safemoon Ace is extremely ambitious, and he's a go-getter for those of you that know him, man. And I got a few of these apes, and shout out to my Enhance family, man. All you guys out there doing your thing, and yeah, man, check them out. These apes are going for 1.75 BNB, man, and there's a lot of prizes that they're giving out. They get Safemoon Ace is a madman. Let me tell you, he gave out a Tesla a couple days ago, or 50,000. He gave out actually $50,000 equivalent BNB on a space. There was an ape. Every 1,000 apes that they sell, right? They're giving away a Tesla or $50,000 BSC. The guy was not out of space. He was a DJ. We hopped on another space as he won, and he jumped on that space and claimed this prize live, bro. So these prizes are real. It's insane, and every 1,000 they're doing a giveaway this big. After the 10,000 apes are sold, guys, he's giving away a Lamborghini or $250,000 equivalent BNB.
Wow.
It's a real deal, guys. Shout out to Enhance. That's all I got to say.
Thank you for coming on the show tonight. Today, Schmoke, we really appreciated you coming on and hearing your opinion and discussing things with us and having a good time. Speaking of Enhance, Safemoon Ace, I sent you a message. If you could reach out to me, that would be awesome. I've got some things I'd like to talk to you about. Thank you guys all for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate every single one of you guys that tune in, and especially for those that give us support financially with the super chats. We really appreciate you guys. We love spending this time with you guys. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. So we appreciate you, and we'll catch you guys all in our next week's episode, which I believe is supposed to be hosted on RJ's channel, but that's at least the schedule. So if that changes, we will keep you guys all updated. So thank you guys, and we'll catch you guys all in the next one.
Peace.